There is a living God that is above all, and he will never quit on you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to podcast number 101. Can you believe it? Not Dalmatians.
I was Cherise. I was just going to say that. It sounds like 101 Dalmatians.
I know it does. And this is the Gordon and Cherise show, and we are so excited to be back with you today. No, we do not have 101 magic tips to have zero pain in your life. We are talking about the real, raw, gritty parts of life related to no quit. This is the last part of we've turned it into a 4-part series. We had no idea this would be a 4-part series, but we just can't stop talking about no quit. And I'm not saying don't quit. No quit was how this began. It's I guess the slang on it that we've put a little twist on it. So important, Gordon.
Well, and we've shared a lot of practical tips through the process. Again, going deeper spiritually, understanding some different things about pain and our strengths and living by the Spirit. And we've shared some things practically, physically with the body as well as mentally. We're going to keep going because that no quit through the pain, that renewal of the mindset concept is gigantic.
Yeah.
And you've got to have it. So let's just go straight to it. People ask me, Gordon, how do you do it? And so I just wrote down 3 approaches, and this might sound like we're repeating things, but we're not.
I don't think you can say it enough.
I don't.
Truthfully, because I personally, Gordon, I need it. I need it right now. Well, I need it every day.
And what we talked about is when we start discarding our strengths, it's usually when we're trying to break old habits. So a lot of times we can't break old habits. We can't conquer the traumatic pain from the past. We can't do certain things with what we used to do when you're dealing with basically colossal size pain that seems so prolonged and doesn't seem to ever go away. But I tell you what you can do, and this was the epiphany for me.
What?
Change your routine. Your brain is in a routine. Do new things. Don't judge yourself on the old things, the old habits, the old practices that are no longer effective for a healthier lifestyle.
You've talked about it before. You can't change old behaviors until you put in new habits.
Well, this is a great message for addicts. I know how hard it is for folks to get off of marijuana or heroin or coke or whatever, alcohol.
Or even pain meds. If they're prolonged.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you have to move to new things. And is there going to be some withdrawals? Yes. Is it going to be difficult? Yes. But the mindset is part of the program. Now, we're not advocating for people just to get off their meds without professional consultation with a physician.
Right.
That's not what we're doing.
Or counseling.
Correct. But this is part of it. You can do new things. I've done it. I was on a host of medications, and eventually I was off the medications.
Yes, you were.
Okay. So I was incorporating new routines in my life. So
you were supposed to be on medication your whole life, like heavy stuff.
Right. And I have a whole person impairment rating that renders me totally and permanently disabled, unable to do anything occupationally, having an extreme limitation of activities of daily living skills, and living a thriving lifestyle.
And you have stepped away from that identity.
Yes, I did.
And through a new mindset, through your weakness, through that weakness, God's strength has risen up in you, Gordon.
Yes.
You do not live by somebody else's label of you.
No.
But you've allowed room for God to show you new spaces in your own body, in your own mind, and taking you to new places that no medication, no doctor, nobody else could take you to, not even me, who
Right.
loves you with all of her heart.
Right.
I can't fix it,
Right.
but God is with you.
Right. Let's take kidneys. This seems to be a big thing in my life right now. Producing these village of kidney stones and having 8 kidney surgical procedures and all these different things. The pain from kidney stones will grab your attention. Okay, unless you like pain. I don't like pain.
I don't know of anyone
Okay.
that says that they like that.
And initially you're gonna grit through it at first. You're gonna ball up with inside and muscle up and be prepared to take a big old punch of pain from kidney stones, and you know it's gonna last. But then there's a point that when you go deep, you know that there's a psychological space that pain tries to take you to where you just want to be defeated. Well, I want to tell people in that darker space, I've lived it. God's there. And when He's there, it allows me to get one step in front of the pain. And then if I'm on Dilaudid to calm me down before surgery or something else, that's when things seem to work more effectively for me.
Right.
So it's moving into those new spaces. That's gigantically important.
It's helped you to do that, have that no quit mindset.
Right. And a good sports analogy is it's not about the last play. Rather, it's about the next one that will happen. You can't keep your eyes fixed on what you can't remedy or change. It's gone. Even our conversation from the podcast, the words that just came out of our mouths are gone. They're on film, but we're looking at the thoughts for the next part of our podcast that are going to help inspire people's lives and move them closer to the truth of God and what can happen through healing. Okay, let's go to number 2. If number 1 is not trying to break old habits, which it was for me, number 2 is the power of coherence. And when you're in a lot of pain,
It's all chaos.
total chaos.
It's just, the world is spinning.
Total chaos. And I would bet a lot of people in chronic pain have cluttered their rooms where they sleep. Their homes are disorganized. You'll find a lot of people hoarding. You'll find, especially with emotional pain, you'll find chaos, not just in the external environment. You'll find it within their minds as well as their bodies.
Yeah.
And I know for me, sometimes people are more familiar with the chaos and they've lived in it for so long where the neurological wiring is fixed on what's familiar. Well, for me, the power of coherence, or that sense of organization, how does my mind line up with my body and line up with my spirit? How do my emotions react to what's happening?
You broke this down really well, by the way, in the courses
Yes, I did.
that are coming out. And I think that we don't need to go through that, but I just want to really give that a plug, that there are the courses that you have created that really break down the mind, body, and spirit part.
Yes. And I'm going to say that a lot of times I'd rather deal with the new problems as I'm changing instead of being in that loop of always working on the old problems that don't seem to have any solution. You're in a lose-lose situation. You move into the new, you're going to be in a win-win situation.
That's true. And you said something very key, new problems. You don't know that you're growing unless you have new problems to face.
That's true.
So and sometimes when you're in pain, you want no problems to exist. Can't life just stop? It can't all the problems of the world disappear. In this world, we're going to have trouble. But I remember the verse. But Jesus has overcome the world. And so we can't just rest on the fact that problems will disappear, because they won't. But I do think it's a challenge for people in pain to say, I can't solve those old problems, and to step into a place where there are some new problems
And
where
they're weary.
there's growth.
They're weary.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I was weary. I was like, if I step into the new, am I stepping into something where I get some rest and my pain is completely reduced or completely taken away or ameliorated?
Yeah.
Am I in a brand new space? Is Gordon preaching this, and Gordon and Cherise, are they preaching this message that if I just step into the new, it's all gone?
No.
No. We're being sanctified. But I'm going to tell you, you have a chance for your body to respond to your mind and emotions.
Exactly. It doesn't have to lead. It doesn't have to be the tail wagging the dog.
Right. And we see this, you and I went through this time of Pilates. When I learned Pilates, when I was told I had a 5-pound lifting restriction. Well, I got to see how the brain was affecting the movement of the body, as well as breathing, as well as what I was visualizing with my mind,
Yes.
as well as how my body was responding.
Right.
I was developing a new body because of that coherence or organization, that connection between every part of my body, mind, spirit, okay, or mind, soul, spirit, or body, soul, spirit, having that full connection and seeing the health that comes from it.
It's interesting because when you reorganized your mind, it reorganized your body.
Yes.
It wasn't about the body coming first. It never is about the body coming first.
Yeah.
I think it was remarkable to see those changes, because even though you had literally walked your weight off, there wasn't a lot of strength in you, like as far as muscle. I'm just saying, you didn't have any resistance. You couldn't do that. You wouldn't do that for most of the, gosh, I don't even know. Was it 15 years or more? 20 years of our marriage?
Well, it's 15, Cherise. 15 years.
I mean, to see the fact that you were able, first of all, you entered into a new worship space with God.
Yes, I did.
And that came first. And then you started reorganizing your thoughts. Like, again, that curiosity. You went into the curiosity mode. What if this actually helped me? You didn't judge yourself before you started it.
By letting the old fall off my back and not trying to fix things.
And not trying to be like the old bodybuilder that you used to be.
Well, I lifted weights. I wouldn't say I was a great bodybuilder. I'd say I sculpted my body working out.
Okay.
But more importantly, to the point, the word that we don't talk about is our wills. That's when I learned to say, Heavenly Father, I'm still holding on to my will. I still think I have control over this. I still think self is dominating this, even though you're in my life. I had to do this over and over again. Heavenly Father, here's my will. I want to place it in your hands. I'm a spirit. I want to walk by the Spirit, not just my broken down body.
Right.
And then when I could walk by the Spirit, organization turned into minimizing, simplification, differentiating between what a need was and what a want was. It took away some of the cravings of my flesh or my body. So having a better connection by the Spirit brought healthier habits.
Yes, it did.
And new perspectives. But I had to hand my will over to Him.
That's right. Or your will would have kept you on the heaviest doses of medications.
That's true.
You would have eaten your way into complete morbid obesity.
Well, thank you,
But
Cherise.
you were there for a while.
Yeah.
And Gordon, I can't imagine in your 60s now if you have the vitality of a 40-year-old.
I do.
Now.
I do.
But it wasn't that way for a lot of years.
That's true.
You've actually aged in reverse because of these things we're talking about.
I have.
And it has been a battle, and it still is, but it's miraculous to see it.
The victory is the fact that I have a more intimate relationship with Christ.
And so the whole point is this, that any listener that is in a spot where they're not as far along on this part of the journey. This is to encourage you to say there are changes ahead in your life if you're open to that.
It's true.
That you could never imagine. I could not have imagined the transformation that you walk in every day.
Thank you.
Years ago. I was completely
Hopeless.
in despair and hopeless about you, about your body, about you being able to enjoy any of the elements of life that God has so gracefully given us in this season.
And created for us.
He did.
As a created human being from him.
And so it's an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I would not trade this journey.
Right.
But I have to say, these are not just, you're not just spouting off things for people to hear them that you yourself are not walking through every day of your life.
I walk through these almost every day.
Right.
Yeah. So the first one was creating new routines, not trying to break old habits. The second one was the power of coherence or organization within the body. Okay. So we're looking at body, soul, spirit. And then the third one, and this is the profound one where we could delineate between finding new strengths in our weaknesses, was the development of new inner eyesight. That has been gigantic for me, is developing that discernment and that gift to test Jesus Christ in the Spirit, to know what is real and what doors I should go through because he wants me to go through him. Okay?
Right. He is the door.
Right. So I needed two things. When we're in chronic pain, we're blinded. Our perspectives are way off. Mine were way off. As effective as I thought I was, looking at life and moving about and change, and I did the best I could. Okay? And I didn't have enough room in me to admit failures or weaknesses. Okay, at that time. I had to just focus on what I thought worked. But that creates a narrowed perspective. So I needed to be able to see more. I needed to pull off the layers of my inner eyesight so what I saw internally could be also moved out and translated to externally. So it wasn't all about me in my pain. It was about not me first, but me last. How about everyone else around me? They could either have benefits from my pain and still feel the love of Christ and the love that I have, or they could see all the negatives of me. I needed to see that.
So part of your transformation involved stepping outside of your pain.
Yes.
To see others.
Yes.
And as I read Job right now, I'm in Job, and I think about this, that Job was not out of pain. No. He was in so much pain and surrounded by his friends who didn't understand a thing and judged him.
Yes, they did.
And judged his pain. So many people feel judged in their pain, either by themselves or by the people around them. And they had well-meaning friends, but his friends didn't know what to do. They just, they kept trying to put Job in his place in a sense. And what I love, though, is that he was healed when he prayed for his friends.
Yes.
He wasn't healed when he prayed for himself.
Right.
He wasn't healed when he just said, okay, I'm going to lay down and die. He didn't lay down and die and give up the rest of anything.
Yeah.
Job, the book of Job is very poetic. It's very beautiful. It's very hard to read, but it's probably the oldest book of the Bible. And that the scholars say that it is. And there's something amazing about the dynamic of relationship in that book. And pain.
And what did we notice with me? How many times have we been in our own home churches or house churches, in our own groups, And I was the center of attention every week.
No, it
And
never helped.
What they did, Gordon, we're coming up here. We're going to pray for you.
Yeah.
Is there sin in your life? Is there inadequacy in your life? Maybe you don't have enough faith? What are you doing for studies?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm teaching everyone else, okay? What's this? What's that? They didn't understand it, and it's very easy. I know that I did, and I didn't express it to them, but I would come home with you, and I would say, honey, I don't want to even deal with these people because they don't understand the depth of suffering.
Right. And you just shut down.
I completely shut down.
It's like you became a vault.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And so I needed to have my eyes opened and not just try to get back at them with equity and justice through suffering. I needed to see God in a larger context of how I fit into a community, though I was struggling with ravaging pain.
And that is part of the key as you talk about the development of new inner eyesight.
Right. And God gave that to me. And we saw this in the course of things. When I took my eyes off myself and my old habits, when I saw the importance of organization and connection between body, soul, and spirit, the things that I had learned from Scripture, the things I had learned through prayer, the things I had learned by walking through the Spirit, things started to line up differently. And I know for me, though pain exists, one of the best things for me was, can you get one step in front of your pain, where you're the head, not the tail, so that you can make a generous and hospitable gesture towards others who don't understand you with the pain.
Yeah.
I needed to get one step ahead so that I could still love others. And when my love was drained, I needed those spiritual eyes to show me the love of God that was in me that I could share with them.
Yes.
Not preach at them.
Yeah.
But just...
And begin to forgive them.
Exactly.
You have walked from being offended
Yes.
to being a man of deep forgiveness.
Yeah. A decade ago, I was offended.
Yeah.
Today, it's going to take a lot to offend me if it's directly a direct assault against me. It takes quite a bit. But getting the eyesight, developing that one step in front of your pain, you can still deal with chronic pain. And it gives you enough space to continue to grow into a new, transformed person.
I love it.
Okay? Even today, the way that I felt with the headache this morning and the legs burning, and we're in a new climate. We got back from Costa Rica a week ago. All the different things that have been happening, the barometric pressure changes. I have to get one step ahead so that I don't take my pain out. Even on our tech team, the people behind the cameras right now, I never want them to feel lower than me because I've got pain. I want to edify people.
Yeah, you do.
I want to hear their stories because they're legitimate. And people in a community of pain like the Better Living community, their stories are legit.
They're very much so.
And there's a lot of people out there that have had great connections with the Holy Spirit that I say share it, you all.
Yes.
Get one step ahead of your pain.
Beautiful, Gordon.
Okay? Now, we had talked earlier, and I would say this about discipline. Let your determination, in other words, this new hunger for life, become the catalyst of your discipline.
The new eyesight.
That's your new passion that's developing. So many times we do this. Where's my passion? When you're in chronic pain?
There is no passion.
Well, maybe my passion can turn on my favorite Netflix while I'm bundled up in my covers, and I'm going to eat this because it gives me a little relief. And make sure you've got that double dose of medication and call the doctor. And who's going to do this for me?
Right.
And don't you see what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not cutting that person down. I've been there.
Yeah.
Okay? But what you want to do is that determination for change, being willing to change.
Yes.
And staying on that track. Allow this new hunger that's developing in you, this new passion for life, this new passion to discover God at deeper layers or more profound layers in your life. Let that be the catalyst for your discipline.
I love it.
Don't allow your pain, the subjectivity of your pain, stop you dead in your tracks. This is no quit through your pain.
Yes.
There is no option. Do not quit. No excuses. I don't care what's there. And I've had to say that to me, not in a condemning way, but in a way of, come on, you can do this.
It's a motivation.
Absolutely.
And speaking of, there are some nuggets. We have to go through this, the tidbits that you have written down.
Oh boy.
About motivation for a disciplined lifestyle. These are just little nuggets.
We cannot turn this into number 5.
No.
I'm letting the guys know this is going to be a little longer podcast because we got to hit some of these.
But I want you to.
Okay.
Let's just go over the motivation right now.
Okay.
So start.
I want people to know this. Many times when I've been in that disciplined position, I've had to say to myself, transformation is happening, even though I can't see it happening right now. God is bigger than me. And look how he's created the universe. It's like reading the book of Psalms where you see how he's praised for everything he's done throughout creation. Okay. And we go, look how infinite his wisdom and love is. Okay. So I have taken that approach of saying, look at transformation. It's still happening in me. I don't understand all the mechanics and dynamics, but it's happening. Even in the darker times, and it's probably happening more.
Yes.
Okay? Point number 2, think new. Keep thinking new. Maybe put that up on the mirror in your bathroom. Think new.
That's right.
Stay on the path.
Develop those new pathways, those new neuro pathways in the brain.
Right. Keep your mind on the fact that you're running a race for life. Paul ran the race of his faith, and every step forward is one step closer to God and to experiencing full wholeness and contentment. Okay? Keep going.
Yep.
Don't stop. You know, I want people to realize we're all divine imagers of why he created us. He's created us for a purpose.
Even in pain. Even in our pain.
Yes, regardless of pain.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Next one. People, you will feel this. You will feel alone through the process. Don't try to recruit other people to take on things that you have to be accountable for.
That's good, Gordon.
Okay?
Yeah.
Take your eyes off yourself and your needs and look for God through the accountability process. Okay? And when you become fidgety, we talked about it earlier, submit your will, submit every part of who you are into that place of stillness where God is.
Good.
And it's a freaky place to be. Next one, make sure you leave room for yourself for forgiveness and love.
And forgiving yourself too.
Yes. Adopt a spirit of gratitude. When things look terrible, find even the littlest things that are a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing and look at the goodness of it, and you will be absolutely reinforced with an endorphin release, and your mind shift will change instantaneously. Okay? Never miss an opportunity to put the work in. This is a process of discovering and living out your purpose.
Correct.
Don't miss that opportunity because, well, I'm tired, I'm lazy, I'm complacent, I don't want to hear about it, I'm weary. Keep going. The next one, the road forward has additional trials to overcome.
That's the truth,
It
people.
is not a yellow paved brick road like we see in The Wizard of Oz in the movies. Okay? And life is far more than just having pure knowledge about something. We need to walk it through with our experience. And a lot of times we have to experience suffering in order to grow.
Suffering is part of the experience.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Next one. This is what I would say to myself. If I don't have the intellect for something, if I feel like, and we're not supposed to compare to other people, but sometimes it's natural. If I don't have the benefits someone else does, or the situation economically that someone else may have, I always knew I had this. I could work twice as hard to get the chance to change. Grab it. No excuses. No quit through your pain.
I love it.
So those are some things that I adopted in my mindset that have been outrageously beneficial.
Beautiful, Gordon.
Okay, valuable takeaway. What is yours, sweetheart?
You know, as I've thought through this whole podcast and listened, one thing that keeps coming to mind is there is a living God that is above all. And he will never quit on you. And in his strength and in his power, he will give you that no quit mentality so that you can make it to the very end of the race of this life in a way that you never thought you could before. You have a God that will never quit on you. Don't quit on him, and don't quit on yourself. You are not created to just be in despair. You are created because you are beautiful and loved and unique. And your story is special.
How
your
true.
Trials are special. They're cultivating you for something great, for something that is a unique process to you.
How true.
No quit.
No quit. I would say this. Each person that takes accountability for their pain and suffering becomes a leader. And as you become a leader, you have a choice when you can look beyond yourself. You can also become a coach, a disciple, a teacher, a motivator, a mentor. And as you're placed in those places, and as you're sharing with other people and touching other people's lives, here's what we can expect. Here's what we can expect from other people that might be the students. And I'm still a student of life, okay? Is that they will do the best they can do. That is our biggest reward.
Absolutely.
And so we encourage you, do the best you can do with that no quit attitude.
There you go.
Okay. That's today's podcast 101.
That's beautiful, Gordon. So how do people connect with us?
Well, you tell me.
Go to the Better Living Community on Facebook.
That sounds great.
That's one place. To find everything about getting connected with us, it's on our website, gordonandcherise.com. You can go there. You can sign up for our podcast. We ask you to subscribe to YouTube. We are so excited to bring you so much material, but it's only your feedback, your comments, you being connected to this community that keeps us going.
Right.
So we want to share with you, but we also ask you to subscribe, comment, be a part of it.
Right.
And let us know some stories about how you're not quitting.
Right.
Let us know if any of this has helped you to maybe have a different perspective in your pain, and share that with others. Help others understand that they don't have to give up either.
Very good. Very good words, Cherise.
Thank you.
So we'll see you next week.
Yes, we will.
I'm looking forward to 102, a brand new topic.
There we go. See you next time.